Welcome to another video from our China series. This was our last day in Shanghai. In today's video, we're exploring both the old and the new sides of Shanghai. We spent the first half of the day exploring a beautiful ancient water town near Shanghai, and the rest of it exploring the city's modern side. We started our day pretty early, since the place we wanted to visit was about an hour's drive from Shanghai city centre. We could have taken the metro, but we were feeling a little lazy and decided to go by Didi instead. The ride was smooth, and we cruised straight to our destination without any traffic delays. Right at the entrance, the street was lined with shops, and we even spotted our favourite drink stall. This was my very first time visiting an ancient water town. I was so excited. So we bought our tickets and went in for the experience. I could already sense the vibe changing with every step closer to the main area. Clearly, we weren't the only ones there. Once we stepped into the streets, it was packed. There were loads of tour groups, vendors calling out, and photographers directing poses. It was chaotic, but so much fun to watch and experience. Funny enough, my dad was expecting the place to be completely different, but it turned out to be the exact opposite. He was expecting the place to be like... but that was not how it was.
这边放这边来。有粉丝有面啊，那剪头发没有位置啊。这里可以买长票吗？
可以不行，对，看自然那边。
This place is a popular tourist attraction. No surprise, it was packed the day we visited. It was the perfect day to explore this ancient town. Let's check out all the beautiful sights we came across that morning. That's so beautiful, isn't it? So in the background, I've got to tell you what else happened. It's funny now, but it was serious back then. As you know, everything there is digital when it comes to payments, so we didn't carry any cash. We had our apps all set up and had been using Alipay and WeChat for every payment during our trip. But on this particular day, our mobile connection decided to act up. At a couple of vendors, when we tried to pay, we kept losing the connection. That definitely caused a bit of panic. Later, we found out the issue was actually with the VPN. So during the rest of our trip, whenever payments failed, we just switched it off and everything worked perfectly. At the entrance, we bought tickets to a few places within the ancient town, a garden and a couple of temples. So we started off by checking out the garden first. Before entering the gardens, there was a beautiful courtyard and an area displaying some antiques. So we went in to check out the place. Walking into these gardens was such a contrast from the busy hustle outside on the main street. It was calm, peaceful, and I was totally blown away by the beauty and how well everything was maintained. It was such a beautiful garden to wander around at a slow pace. Each section had its own charm. This place is a must visit. This garden is the largest and best preserved private garden in this ancient town. We also explored an indoor area where artifacts from the owner's mansion were on display. Just when we thought we'd reached the end, another path opened up to reveal a whole new section of the garden. This section was pretty busy with visitors. We even went up this treehouse-like structure. That garden was so peaceful and beautiful. I could have easily spent the whole day there. Since it was our last day in Shanghai, we were also keeping an eye on the time because we had a few plans lined up for the evening back in the city. The ancient town was huge. We'd been walking in one direction and still couldn't see the end of it. The main streets were crowded the whole way through, so once again, to take a break from the busyness, we headed into the next spot on our list. Once we stepped inside, it was calm and peaceful. Let's take a look.
然后向后面一点点那种。艺术场。老长了。
We had one more place on our list to visit. It's another famous temple. Visiting an ancient water town in China for the first time was such a memorable experience. Yes, it was crowded in most places, but I still really enjoyed it. Venturing into the gardens and temples gave it a whole different vibe. My dad felt it was a bit too crowded to enjoy, but for me, it was fun. We took a taxi to the nearby metro station. It took us an hour to get back to the city centre. Nice and easy. What? After that fun-filled morning, it was time to check out the modern side of the city. Our evening kicked off with a visit to the tallest building in China, the Shanghai Tower.
Shanghai Tower.
We booked our tickets in advance on trip.com, and since it was a timed entry, we had to make sure we got there within our slot. We got there just before sunset, so we had the perfect chance to see the skyline, both in daylight and later at night when the city lights came on. Standing at 632 meters, the Shanghai Tower gave us incredible panoramic views of the city. mum's phone. My dad had probably misplaced it, and that instantly sent my parents into a panic. My mum quickly went to a nearby security guard, and he calmly said it had already been handed in and deposited at the security bay. Wow, those few minutes felt hectic, but thanks to the incredibly helpful staff, we got the phone back safe and sound. Once that little situation was sorted, we could finally relax and enjoy the views. We came across a cafe, so we grabbed a quick bite while waiting for the skyline to light up. The popcorn chicken there was super crispy and so good. Out of all the observation decks I've been to, the Shanghai Tower tops the list. Once we were done there, we took the metro back to the other side of the Bund. There was still one more thing on our list for the night, the river cruise. I wasn't done soaking in that amazing skyline yet, and what better way to enjoy it than from the water? River cruises are really popular here, and that night was no exception. The boat was huge, but almost every single ticket had been sold. This is way better. There weren't any seat allotments. You could either sit inside or head up to the open deck. My dad found us a great spot out on one of the balconies. Perfect place to enjoy the Bund up close. The cruise was amazing. It took us very close to the Pearl Tower and the Shanghai Tower. I've seen quite a few skylines, but this one is definitely the best. The cruise is the best way to enjoy the stunning Shanghai skyline. It gives you a whole new perspective of the city. Cruise was amazing. I had a wonderful time and I'd highly recommend it to anyone visiting. By then, we were starving. On our way back to the hotel, we found a lovely Middle Eastern restaurant. The staff there was so warm and welcoming, and the food was just amazing. I especially loved the meat skewers. They were so yummy. There's always room for bubble tea. Just a few meters from our hotel, we came across a busy little shop. Even late at night, it was buzzing with orders. We tried a couple of their top picks and they were absolutely delicious. Right after the river cruise, we headed back to the Bund. It was absolutely spectacular. Here are a few shots from that night. That's all we did on our last day in Shanghai. The day was nothing short of amazing. We got to see and do so many things. I really loved our 3 days there, and I wish we had stayed a bit longer. Next time for sure. We'll be back with another video shortly, but until then, take care.